That I play this position, I was in the right place at the right moment, and my teammates put some amazing balls, 2 goals, and most important, 3 points for the team.
So you've not trained there, you've not played there as a kid, maybe?
Maybe when I was 8, 9 years old, but not since.
We didn't have the feeling we were a real threat and playing with enough urgency. I wasn't too happy with that. Second half, we looked much sharper. We believe that Mikel could give us something else with Leo off the left, and unbelievable, because you have to try those things to get them working, and he made them work basically.
Thin margins, the chance of Bobby De Cordova just touched by Lewis Kelly, I think, with the Jordan Ayew cross can be the turning point. If we keep preparing ourselves on a daily basis and preparing the games as we do, and putting in performances like this, that eventually you're going to win games.
These 2 teenagers you've got as regulars now, I mean, they don't look their ages.
No, they don't. I mean, physically they built in a special way already, but then I think emotionally, mentally, you know, how mature, how composed, how willing they are, the way they make decisions on the pitch, the way they take risks is really impressive.
And on to next week. Do you fancy it again from the start?
Well, I don't know. That's not a question for me. Obviously, I'll be ready for whatever they ask me to do. I've always been a team player, and if they want me to play as striker, I will. If they ask me to play as a goalkeeper, I will too.
Thanks, Mikel. Don't push it.
No.
Thank you, Mikel.
It's easy playing in goal. He's made it look easy playing up front. Well, they left it fairly late, Arsenal, and I think the bright spark in an otherwise fairly dull game was Ethan Nwaneri.
Yeah, 17 years of age.
But
a potential superstar. He was without doubt the bright spark for Arsenal today. Even when things weren't going for them, which were large parts of the game, he was the one that was probing. He was the one that was putting crosses in and having pops at goal. This is almost identical to the cross that they score from. He just shifts the ball onto the left foot and he puts that in and he whips it in. Declan Rice can't quite get on the end of it. Again, he gets the ball and works it onto the left foot. This time he cuts inside and has the pop it goal, hits the crossbar. But he can and does also like to go down that right-hand side. If you show him too much room, if you invite him to go down there, then that's fine. He will do that as well. And he was the best player on the pitch today. So lively. This time again, it goes on the right side. He hits the bar. The keeper might get the slightest of touches onto that. But this is what I said about him in the identical cross that we saw earlier. Again, he just shifts it onto the left. This time, he whips it in. This time, the substitution works for Arsenal. Marino comes on, and what happens is they've now got a threat in the middle, which they didn't really have. He shifted Trossard out onto the left-hand side. He did ever so well in getting the second goal. Yes, they left it late, but they won't be bothered, Arsenal. It was about getting the 3 points. Great ball in and a fantastic finish, and that made all the difference. But the star of the show was young 17-year-old Ethan Nwaneri. What a performance. Looks so mature as well. Yeah. So mature. Nothing seemed to faze him at all. No. Fantastic. Big win for Arsenal, that is, and he played a huge part in that.
Yeah, I suppose everyone's been saying Arsenal need a striker for a while. They might have found one by fluke.
Well, yeah, I think he spoke about being told this morning he might come on and play the role. He was so calm in front of goal, and that's what Arsenal needed. 2 immaculate finishes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Third place, Nottingham Forest squeezed.
Much the first half, especially the first 20-25 minutes, we struggled to get certain momentum because we did a lot of simple things very wrong, giving a lot of balls away and never really threatening and generating enough momentum and sequences in the opposition's box. But the second half was very different. We had much more urgency, better intentions, better executions. And then you can sense that the game was going in the direction that he had to go. Saying that, is a moment when we give the ball away in the middle of the park. The space is open in the counter, and Miles has to make a magic touch to deny the goal. And in the other end, then that's when we score the goal. With the shots, where they were brilliant, and Mikel obviously make a huge impact to score the 2 goals.
Is it too simple to say he's the solution now going forward for the next few weeks because the
Yeah.
players looked a lot more confident across the ball when he was there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to share that, and we know that we're gonna have various contexts. So that we're gonna have to make a swap because a player is not performing, or because the opposition is doing something else, or because we got a yellow card or is fatigue, and that's going to restrict what we can do really in terms of the personnel. But we have prepared for different scenarios. Then those scenarios have to work. Hopefully, they will work as good as Mikel worked today.
Art Athletic.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
When Mikel Merino scored, I was thinking back to the summer, the Euros, when he scored against Germany. I was wondering, did you kind of think back to your old teammate, Marouane Fellaini? Because it seemed like a very similar thing as a striker.
I didn't think about him, to be fair, but Mikel has got that. He's a goal threat because he can smell danger, he can anticipate the action, he's got really good timing to arrive to certain areas, and then obviously he has the capacity to execute with a lot of part of his body. And he needed the delivery, he certainly had that as well, and he put it in the back of the net.
And was that front three something we were seeing you kind of work out in real time because of the different kind of profiles? Obviously starting with the kind of smaller guys, but then bringing on.
Well, I think the game started to suit him more because they were started to defend much more deeper, and we had more momentum, more sequences, more set pieces as well in that period, and we believe that he could impact the game, and yeah, we were lucky that he did it.
Dan the Sun.
How important was it after Liverpool dropped those late points and kind of demoralising circumstances for them on Wednesday for you to put pressure on them ahead of tomorrow's game?
Yes, and it was for us as well. You know that with everything that happened in the last few days, it was a lot of noise as well. That to show how much we want it. You know that regardless what happens, we're gonna really go for it. That we believe in the resources that we have, in the quality of our players, and we can still adapt and be very competitive and still win a lot of football matches.
Simon Evening Standard.
Mikel, when did you come up with the idea of having Moreno as a striker? Because I think we heard from you and you said you didn't train it. So was it something I know you said before you have sort of wild dreams. When did you come up with the idea?
Well, I put all the options that, but there were too many. The moment you start to draw options, there are too many, and at the end you have to have the picture in your head of okay, what can work and what are the variables and the options and the synergies within the team, and then you have to feel it, and that's a feeling on the pitch and seeing what is happening actually, what is the game demanding, you know. And we believe that it was him in that moment, and then to get it right, he needs to deliver, which is the hardest thing in football.
Given the situation you're in with injuries and everything, is it kind of going to be the case for the rest of the season that in different moments, different players are going to need to step up?
Yeah.
Mikel today, but someone else might do it next
For sure.
week.
For sure, and it could have been earlier in the game because, for example, Ethan, he puts the ball in the crossbar, then he puts the ball in the post. We have another massive chance arriving with Declan in the first half. It can be a set piece. It can be in various ways. The team has a lot of capacities in open spaces. Today we were really dangerous as well. We had the ability to run, and that's what we need. That we are a threat from every situation.
Mike over here.
Tough day for Raheem. Is he a player that needs some rhythm in the games and maybe and a confidence player as well?
Yeah, and as well, I think from everybody, you know, to step up the game, because in the first half, as I said, especially the first 20-25 minutes, we weren't at our standards, and when that happens, it's very difficult for the front players.
Tom, Football London.
Mikel, I just want to go back to that Lewis Skelly moment, because it was only 8 minutes before Mikel scored his goal. It seems such an incredible touch, a moment of maturity to know what type of touch to take in there. Just give me a reaction when you saw that ball trickle wide of the goal.
Well, to be fair, on the bench, I didn't know whether he touched it or not, or it was a deflection before in the cross. But when I watched it back in the dressing room, it was amazing, because it's one of those moments that it should change the moment in the game and probably the results.
Okay, last couple. Tom in the corner.
On TV, Mikel, Joe Hart actually compared Ranieri to Messi. Thing to say, but how talented do you think he is, and how much of the future does he have?
Well, what he's showing basically, that's him, you know, and obviously his age is always something that puts a question mark on how we have to deal with him. But every sign that he's giving us is, let me go for it, let me go, let me go, let me go. And when a player is giving you all those signs, you should not stop it. You have to play with that freedom, with that creativity, with that confidence that he's playing at the minute. And the players around him believe in him. So let him go, because he's a massive threat, massive talent, and he deserves to play.
And finally, to Nick at the back
I was going to ask about Ethan as well. Until Mikel came on, he looked like your most dangerous player. And then he supplied that incredible perfect cross for the header, just up a bit more on his defining contribution.
Yeah, because I think one was one of the few in the